So the roosters think they know how to fix the car. So while I'm over here, they come over here and they give me suggestions, they give me guidance, companionship, and then they poop all over everything. Darn chickens. So I'm working on this VW Beetle. The engine's been acting up. I replaced the mass airflow sensor because the sensor goes in here and it senses the air that comes through, and that's the connector that connects onto the sensor, right? Tells the computer how much air is coming through. This is the throttle control body. Throttle control body has a little flap in it that flaps back and forth. It closes and opens, and it determines how much air actually goes into the engine. This right here is what they call the control mass airflow sensor control and position sensor, and it's got a connector down at the bottom and goes back, connects into the computers. So the computer senses from this to know how much air is coming through. And if that thing's dirty or broken or anything, it doesn't send a signal back to the computer, tell you exactly how it's working or how much air is coming through. The one I had here was not functioning properly, so I went ahead and replaced that. But the engine was acting up and acting weird. So I went ahead and I replaced the throttle control body. After replacing this and going through the reset where I disconnected the negative terminal on the battery there to leave that off for a good while, and also turn my blinkers and lights and keying to the on position and everything. While that is off, it helped drain all the power and everything out of any kind of computer control or anything like that, and to help clear the memory, right? Put that back on, have the car back to normal, put that back on, start the car up. It still acts exactly the same way it did. So this is new. That's new, yet everything still flakes out and acts weird. This is a 5-cylinder engine, meaning it's got 5 places here, right, where the power comes in through these wires, because it's all electronic control. And this is what they call an ignition coil, and there's a piece that fits down on top of your spark plug. So the computer says, spark this one, or spark this one, or spark this one, to spark, and ignite the air and fuel mixture that's in the cylinder. So see how nice and clean that one is? That one's been replaced before. But these things right here, where these wires go in, there's 5 of them here. And then that's some kind of sensor there, but it's down here. But that's where your electronic fuel injection is. So on this car, this thing has lost its mind. It didn't know when to inject the fuel properly, and it also doesn't know when to spark the spark plug properly. So this thing is all weirded out. The engine goes boom, 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 and it moves like that, meaning the internals is all crazy. So after doing research and everything, I determined the crankshaft position sensor. It's a sensor that senses the position of the crankshaft, right? Remember, your crankshaft will push up and down your pistons. Well, if the computer doesn't know where your crankshaft position is, then how does it know when to inject fuel through the fuel injector or to spark the spark plug? It doesn't. It's confused. It's weirded out, right? Right now it knows how much air is coming in because the air sensor, the mass airflow sensor, is new and reading properly. The throttle control body, right, is controlled by the computer to determine how much air comes in to mix the air and fuel to put into the cylinder to be sparked by the spark plug to push that cylinder down and make the engine go. So I crawled underneath here, See that big old metal thing all over the place? It's been scratched. This car sits really low to the ground, and there are times when you run over things, right? And that's why they have this metal underlining thing here. I gotta take that off. But if you notice, look at that. I had to go buy special tools. I had to go buy some special tools to get that off of there. And this is what I ended up with here. And it's got that star bit on it. But most star bits that I'm used to have, like this size, would have 6. This one's got little 12, right? And it fits in like a 1/2 inch. I'm putting it in a 1/2 inch socket thing there. But I got the whole set because I just knew that someday I'm gonna need the entire set. So there's my entire set I got. And look at, you see how those are? It's those little star bits, but these have 12. Where the other ones, the normal ones that I normally use, where are they? Right here. Notice these? These have 6 points. And that's the ones I normally use for different projects and working on cars. Right? They're not even this big anyway. Well, actually, I have one. Oh, it's around that size. Is that the right size? Yeah, around the right size. Yeah. But see how, can you see that? 6 tips versus 12 tips. Makes a big difference when you're working on your car. So, anyway, I got the set. I'll always have them in my tool set now, in my toolbox. Red wasp, go away. All right, I'm going to show you the crankshaft position sensor. And if anybody wants to know, that's the part number. Crank sensor. Yeah, it's called crank sensor. But anyway, I got this. This is a CarQuest, but I got it at Advanced Auto Parts. And crankshaft control or position sensors. And that's what it looks like right there. Let me get it out of the bag. I'm a one-hand baggy man. Okay. Alright, so there's your connector. It's got a cable because the connector is away from the cable, but that's your sensor. That's your sensor there, and it just has 2 little let's see if I can get it to focus. 2 little bolts or screws or whatever you want to call it. So I got to take the old one out. Just put this one on. It'll be easy once I get under there. And I got to get that big metal plate out of the way. But now that I got the proper tools, I think I can do that. So anyway, that's what I've been doing today. And had to learn that, you know, had to get some special bits to be able to take that plate off the bottom. And I just love it when manufacturers always do crazy stuff like that. Right? They do that so that regular normal people that don't work on their vehicles very often don't have the proper tools. And then you have to take it where? You have to take it to the dealer. The dreaded dealer workshop where they rip you off. Or it seems like they do anyway. Overcharge you for sure. And then you come home and you found out you have a whole new secondary problem with your car. Alright, well, I'm going to get busy. I got to fix this stuff.